This week on the I Love Funny Women podcast.
I always smell like bacon, butter, and bourbon. Yeah, I'm very popular in prisons. Oh, this might be evidence one day. I'm just going to get that. You are a terrible person.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another I Love Funny Women podcast in our season 2. I'm Nina.
And I'm Lalita Dina.
Hi, Lalita.
Hey, Dina. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween and birthday, day of birth.
It's your birthday, happy birthday.
You came into the world on this holiday.
Yay. Oh my God. So I grew up in the Netherlands where Halloween, okay, people, you need to be a little bit flexible here with math, okay? Because I am in my absurdly late 30s. But nevertheless, I've somehow managed to grow up in Amsterdam in the 1970s. I know the math doesn't work out if you do regular math, like heteropatriarchal math. But if you just are willing to open your mind, the math, it all adds up.
It's called queer quantum math.
Queer quantum. Exactly, not quantum physics, quantum psychics. Halloween wasn't a thing. Like we didn't know what it was, and then I think the combination of the movies, Hallmark, and just capitalism has pushed Halloween everywhere. But when I was growing up, the 31st of October is Reformation Day. It's when Luther went and put his Protestant manifestos on churches. And we celebrate that. Of course, we don't, because you're not supposed to celebrate anything in that kind of Protestant thinking. But that was my birthday, like most boring day of the year. And then when I moved to the United States, I'm like, what? Everybody gives me candy. What? This is the best day ever. Everybody gets dressed up. What? So yeah, I love it.
Well, I am so grateful that everybody celebrates your birthday.
And I have such an insane amount of chocolate in my house because I went to. Can we name shops in this podcast? Can I say names?
We just have to say they don't sponsor us. All of the opinions are our own.
Well, I wish that Target did sponsor us because I have a little bone to pick with them about the availability of Halloween candy the Saturday before Halloween. I mean, there was nothing. And I was like, well, WTF, I have to have candy for Monday night when these kids come to my door. And so I ended up even buying small mini cereal bars. Can you imagine the trauma that I'm going to bestow on these children? But I've got to have something. And then on the way home, I dropped by Walgreens. They do not sponsor us, but boy, do I wish they would, because they had so much Halloween candy. So have all the fake Halloween candy from Target. Then I have all the actual Halloween candy from Walgreens. Then I have birthday treats because obviously I need high class chocolate for my birthday. It's crazy out there, Dina. It's crazy. It's calorie central.
Well, Target's white trash cousin had plenty of it the other day when I stepped hesitantly, wondering if I would burn. Oh, well, I'm so happy we get to celebrate your birthday. So today we're recording on Halloween, but it's going to drop tomorrow, the day after Halloween. Halloween's such a queer holiday. I love it so much. It's my favorite thing. Halloween, Pride, like that's my jam. Forget Christmas.
And it's Dia de los Muertos as well, right?
Yeah, Dia de los Muertos is like the first or second. I think it might be the first.
Okay, so I don't know if that's if you say Feliz Dia de los Muertos, but it's definitely something to commemorate.
Yes, it is. In Los Angeles, our neighbors used to have like this huge Dia de los Muertos party, and it was amazing. And they would all get dressed up and do like a walking caravan to Hollywood Forever Cemetery, like which was a couple blocks away. It was unbelievable.
Well, that sounds amazing. I think you mean the city of Los Angeles.
We
We are so multilingual in
we
the I
are
Love Funny Women
so
podcast.
so multilingual. Awesome. Well, let's get into all the stuff that's happening. So,
Yes.
let's start with you. Is that, or did we
Well,
have
I
something else?
have to tell you, I was really worried last week that BoJo was going to come back to number 10 Downing Street because I have some excellent BoJo jokes, and they would have all completely gone flat. Was he back if he were to be back in power? But he did not. And Rishi Sunak is the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. In case you missed it, you heard it here last, really. But it's been so fascinating to see the Desi community online not knowing what to do with this, because of course on the one hand it's unbelievable, brown man in number 10, man of Indian origin in number 10. On the other hand, the guy's a cunt. I mean, there's no nice way of saying it. That's in fact the nicest I can say. And so people are very confused. Like, do we celebrate? Do we, you know what? Anything that pisses off white supremacists is worth celebrating. And white England has gone fucking bananas about this.
Yeah. Well, of course.
The utter lack of historical awareness, like we don't want somebody ruling us who's a different color. Have you heard of colonialism? Like, do you just want to Google that for a sweet second?
What did you do for centuries? That's I too am a little, conflicted with this whole thing because he's gorgeous.
Oh my God. This trait narrative. He's okay, fine, whatever.
I'm sorry about trait boiling it down to his attractiveness. Like he's gorgeous, but like Paul Ryan was one of my conflicted crushes. Like I just wanted to hate fuck him.
Oh my God, what is
And I
oh,
might kind of
Ryan, really?
yes, and I know, I understand. I have very poor taste in men.
Really? Well, you have very poor taste in people, which is where the men come in to begin with.
Which says a lot about my friendship with you.
But with Rishi, I just can't see. Like, there's certainly men where I can see the attraction that, I think, oh, if I were a man, I'd like to look like that. But Rishi Sunak?
Oh my God, he's
No,
so
everybody's saying it that he's so
yeah.
hot, but I'm not. Okay, so Dina, I have to ask you this. As a hot-blooded young woman, as like you are, would you fuck a Republican? Like in actual life?
Okay, I probably have.
Well, yeah, because you're from Texas. So.
Unsuspectingly. And I live in Wisconsin, for heaven's sake, like
No, okay. I mean, obviously, if you don't know, you don't know. But if somebody, you're just getting down to it and everything's nice and and then you realize that the guy's a Trumper. Oh my God, people, you should see the look on Dina's face. She wants to say, I'll do anything for good sex. And she knows that she should say, oh, hell no, I'm out of there. It's fine, Dina. It's fine. We would. And also, there is something about hate fucking that's kind of hot.
it has been 4 years since the last time I have had sexual intercourse. So I just put that out into the planet. Like, I just want everyone to know I'm very desperate, is what like, I'm just.
We should start a dating app and be like, like we'll spend half an hour with you if you're of this political persuasion, but you gotta be hot.
Also, like I fear for my safety.
Right, yes.
So there is a conflict away from my twisted sexual proclivities. And twisted they are. I was doing a set and I said something about Culver's, and somebody yelled out, "They're Republican," and I was like, "I've had worse in my mouth." It's just what it always comes down to.
Oh my God, I cannot. I mean, we boycott in our home, we boycott Chick-fil-A, obviously, and Hobby Lobby.
I do too.
Culver's could put a sign. I mean, Culver's is there are other places now, but they're not in NorCal, but it's such a Wisconsin thing. So when we do go back, we get our butter burgers, we get our they don't sponsor us, just so you
They
know.
do
I
not
wish
sponsor us.
they would send me more frozen custard.
Anything we say has no bearing on
Culver's could put a
their own
sign
opinion.
on their door saying, "We hate queer people." And I'd be like, well, nobody's perfect. Get me one of those turtle frozen custards right now.
Complete. What's the flavor of the day?
Yes. I
Yeah,
guess
I
it's
feel
not
that.
homosexuality, Culver's.
The whole get a taste of transness, boo.
Ah,
I just like I think about I can easily boycott Hobby Lobby because I have
right,
other options. I can easily boycott, Chick-fil-A because I don't eat meat.
right. Your sacrifices are just endless, Dina.
But and also like boycotting there's privilege in it. Like
Mm,
if you can afford to shop at other places, then you shop at other places. If you
right.
can't, then you go to Target's very Republican,
But
very
they have
trashy
very
sibling.
Target has very trans inclusive
I
policies.
know, and I love them. And when they got called out for it, they really paid attention to it, and they
Right.
knew. And that was another thing when they first got called out. I was like, they employ trans people. I've seen them, and they employ queer people,
Yep.
and so yeah. Anyway, it's been a weird week in the news, and you being so close to being in the Bay Area, I'm curious about the whole Paul Pelosi attack. What have you experienced within?
Yeah, I mean, people are really shaken by it. I mean, people on the whole, in the kind of progressive circles that move in, and I don't move very much at all because of my arm being in a cast. People are not a fan of Nancy. I mean, she is considered very much the right wing part of the Democratic Party and super establishment and time to move on. Nevertheless, an attack like that, of course, nobody condones. And it is horrific, and it's so close to everyone in terms of in physical proximity. Yeah, it's been horrible, and
Yeah.
it's shocking. It's just shocking. And then I didn't realize that people don't have security. I guess that makes sense. Like security goes with the person,
Yeah.
but I think this is, of course, it's not good that it happened. But God willing, he'll be fine. But it is good to remind everyone that youth security needs to be there for I mean, it's crazy. These people are crazy.
Yeah, and the news media keeps saying that it's on both sides, and yes, I'm not trying to diminish the fact that Democratic people that espouse Democratic ideas have also contributed to political violence. But when it comes down to it, we look at the historical trends and the current rate of violence. It tends to be with the right wing
Yes.
part of the party.
Yes.
And I just
Absolutely.
like I sit here and I'm like, are you seriously going to vote for these people that when you say you're a Christian and you espouse peace and in the same breath you say they should put people to death like Marjorie Taylor Greene did, why can't she just shut the fuck up?
But I think for those people, Christianity really equals white supremacy. It's not about peace. It's not even really about Jesus. It's about the Bible, and there's a lot of anger in the Bible, and there's a lot of punishment. And I think that's, if they're Christians at all, definitely it includes a hierarchy of people where white people are better than everybody else. And
And none of the people in the Bible were white. I just want to remind everybody, they were not white. They were Middle Eastern people. They were Jewish. They were,
oh,
Middle Eastern people.
yeah,
Jesus was a Jew. But also, if you're going to build your religious affiliation around a man, then at least follow what he said versus what everyone else said.
I
Like
know.
I'm befuddled by the fact that the evangelical right-wing Christianity is like, we're gonna fight. But Jesus said, forgive those who trespass against you. How many times? A lot of fucking times, you know?
Yeah.
Love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't say go kill Democrats because they're demonized. And that's what it comes down to. You're saying that you're part of this Christian movement and you are being the worst of the worst. And I am so like, ugh, coming from that
Right. It's
background just
very
makes it,
close to you.
yeah, yeah.
Because
And
I'm
I,
kind of I'm as a European, I'm further removed from it. Like I'm of course share your outrage, but I don't have that visceral reaction to it. It's
yeah,
more of an intellectual kind of like, what the fuck? How do they make this okay for them? How do they live
right.
with themselves? How is it possible?
Exactly.
But I don't feel it in my body the way I think you do, because that is something that you've lived with.
Yeah. My chest tightens up. Like when I get, that feeling like I just get so angry and hurt and wounded because like they fuck people up all the time and they're just like it's so
Do you think the chest tightening is partially because of Culver's now, is what I'm wondering
it
here?
might be. It might.
I mean, don't go to Culver's and then read the news. I think that's too much chest tightening in one day.
What are you talking? I mean that is my lifestyle.
Well, there's been some very, very, other than the Paul Pelosi attack, there's been some terrible news coming from abroad, right? Do you know?
Yes, lots of it. But we're talking about the Indian pedestrian bridge that collapsed the other day.
Mm.
132 died in that incident.
And
And
probably more. I mean, these numbers are always somewhat estimated, I think. But
I
imagine you're just, walkie, going to work or wherever you're going, and then it's gone. Like you're just fall. It's just so unimaginably horrific.
and of course me with my like watching everything online like it's horror porn.
Mm.
Watched a video and saw it and they just dropped and it was so insane, but it was packed, like so incredibly packed. So I mean,
Is that the argument, that there were too many people on the bridge, that it just collapsed under the weight?
I didn't notice that. I just got the stats of like
Right.
people dying and the bridge collapsing and and then of course in Seoul, the Halloween party that they were having, a crowd surge killed 154
Uh,
people and injured 149. And you just think about all the concerts that you've been to and all the large gatherings that you've been to, and at any point a surge in the crowd can happen and
I
you
have
could.
to say, I don't love crowds, and this is one of the reasons. The crowds are just so unpredictable as well, but this just being crushed, it's just, so sad, so scary.
So enough about keeping that light and happy.
Well, you did mention Brazil, so
I
let's go to
did. Let's
Brazil.
go to that.
Yeah, let's have a little samba.
Ooh,
Ta-ta-dum, do-do.
I just want a lambada now.
Lula. Oh yeah, Lula. I know that he was a very, very, very popular president. Then he was not. Then he was in prison. Then he was out of prison, and now he's president again. And because he's not Jair Bolsonaro, we love him. I mean, for
We,
me, I don't care. I mean, Jair Bolsonaro is so terrible, is so absolutely god awful, that the fact that he's not the president, that in and of itself is like woo woo, yay
and
Brazil.
yet I
But I
still think,
don't know whether Lula actually was corrupt or whether those were fake charges. And let us know what you think. We always love to hear. But if you
yeah,
think we talk bollocks, then don't worry about getting in touch.
I am also kind of concerned that a whole Trumpian kind of escapade is going to happen over the next 2 years in Brazil because Bolsonaro is not conceding and
Mm. Oh
and
my
of course he'll
God.
concede by tomorrow and we'll have to change everything and be like next week, hey, but like he's not conceding and people called him the Trump of South America. And
This is the new tactic now, right? It's just like, what's happening, where people are, there's already Republicans that are on the tickets for the midterms next week. Vote, people.
please get out and
And
vote.
they're saying, if I lose, I'm not going to accept the result. What? That's not how it works. Like you teach your 4-year-old, if you lose at Uno, you've lost at Uno, and that is you just have to just deal.
Yeah, you would think that that's how things would work.
You would think. Well, the Democrats are nervous. I mean, there's Fetterman saying he's all about fracking, which I didn't make me love him. Um,
Yeah.
but I love him otherwise. And his wife, of course, is from Brazil. So nice seg there. Love John Fetterman. Change your mind
Speaking of
about
which,
fracking, please, John. Oh my God. Dina is wearing a Fettermania shirt. How did you get that?
I ordered it online. It's so cool.
It is
I was like, I'm
such
gonna
a
wear a
cool
political
shirt.
shirt today, and of course, Fetterman came up. So yes, I was not happy about the whole fracking thing, and seeing his deficits displayed was very difficult to watch. But also, it made me like him more.
Right.
But also, like Oz makes me like Fetterman more.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there shouldn't be any real competition there because you have an actual human being with political experience and political opinions that we might not always agree with, but they're based on logic and reason and whatever his principles are. And we don't always have to agree on those principles, but there's expertise there and experience and um, capability.
Yeah,
And then on the other side, you have essentially nothing. I mean, it's just hot air, rich hot air.
rich, hot, dog killing air.
It's so, well, you know that the Democrats are worried because they have brought out their Trump card. Get it? Get it? Get it?
Or one might say the big O.
The big
Oh.
Now, did you get a phone call from Barack Obama, Dina?
I would love to get that phone call, but also
Keeps
I love his wife,
pestering
so
me,
why would
like,
I?
"I wanna talk to you." I'm like, "Put Michelle on, and then we'll talk."
I want to talk about her outfit last week. That's that's me. Yeah, they're bringing out Obama all over the trail, and man, I hope it energizes something because everything is so tight and so scary. Even here in Wisconsin, like it's super, super tight and scary. Like we're all just biting our nails, and we have 1 week until everything kind of starts to shake and we start to see some idea of how it's going to land. But good Lord.
People, if you, like me, still have all your voting documents on the kitchen table, that's fine, but you do have a week. And I know not all states have early voting. We do in California. I like to vote on election day. It's just, I'm still very excited about having the privilege of voting in the United States. So I'd like to make a thing of it. And so I will be voting on the 8th. But you don't have to. You can vote early. I'm not sure if you can still vote by mail. So please double check the dates. And please, people, voting is a privilege. So many amazing people who contribute every day to our society do not have the privilege to vote. So, in their honor, just go and vote. Just do it and make sure
Yes.
you don't think it's Wednesday. Okay, it's Tuesday. Don't wake up on the 9th like, oh no, I thought it was today. Your vote
Yeah.
counts because, as you say, Dina, it's so tight everywhere, which
Yeah.
is why. I mean, there's
I know people have lost their, enthusiasm for the midterms, especially in the Democratic Party. But I want you to know that the right-wing factions have not lost their vigor for voting, and they are going out to vote because they want to put their strategic assholes in office. So
Mhm.
please go vote on the 8th if you haven't already. Go on the 8th, look into your candidates, see what they stand for, who they are, look across the board, and then go make an informed decision in that polling place, because everything that your vote means so much. And people are saying that the elections are corrupt, but when you look at the stats and the research, elections the last 4 cycles have been the most accurate and
Well
safe
vetted.
elections.
They're very well vetted. And you know what? If you don't have time to, I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, Dina, but not everybody's got time to make an informed decision. So if you don't have time, just vote Democrat. It's
Yes, or just listen to our
endorsed by
podcast.
I Love
and
Funny Women.
we'll
Some of
tell
them,
you.
some of them we don't endorse all of them, but that's two-party system. Just go vote Democrat.
Go vote Democrats.
If you don't have time to make your own informed decision, is what I'm saying.
Exactly. So I want to.
I'm very excited. I had my son when I was 12. He just turned 16.
Must have been a really hard life.
It was, Amsterdam.
Being
What can
such a young mother.
So young. I'm still so young.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of having a couple of more kids before I turn 30. It's.
I was going to say, if you need one taken off your hands, let me know. And then I was like, no, don't say that.
Aging is a privilege, and let me share with the world. I turned 55 today, and it is an incredible privilege that many people do not have. So anyway, my son is 16, and he's going to be voting in the next election. And I have to say, me sitting at the kitchen table like, oh my God, there's so much to read, is not inspiring him. But I did tell him that not only does he have to vote in 2024, he has to vote for whomever I tell him to vote for, because we have free and fair elections in this household. He's like, you can't know who I vote for. I'm like, if you want dinner, I'm going to have to see a little screenshot.
You are amazing. You're a great mother. And then finally, because it is Halloween, or it was Halloween yesterday, all of the celebrity Halloween costumes make me so happy. So I dressed up yesterday, and I just put a very deep smoky eye with some black tears falling down my eyes, and I scared a few people. It was great, but nothing compared to Lizzo as Marge Simpson.
So good.
Or Kerry Washington as Lionel Richie. I was like, what? She had it down. It was so good.
I haven't seen that, so I'll go check that out right
Yes.
now. Where can we see these pictures, Dina?
I will put the link in the show notes if you want to see all of them. Some of them I was just like, whatever. But Jojo Siwa as Malfoy, Lucius Malfoy, I was like, oh, what? Come on, do it. And then Tamron Hall came out as the Little Mermaid.
Yay! Woo!
It was so good. Happy birthday, Lalita.
I have to say, I do love these Halloween kits that people are posting on Instagram, like fake. So good.
So good. Well, that's all we have for the news, and we will take a real quick break, and we'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Dina and Nina here, and guess what? Election night is right around the corner, and we are hosting a live election night coverage event that is going to just be amazing. Everything starts at 7 p.m. Tuesday, November 8th, with Lalita D, Felicia Minor, and a host of lovely guests. Go to dinanina.com to find out more. You're listening to the I Love Funny Women podcast on the Artemis Bow Network. We would love to hear from you. You can give us an email at info@ilovefunnywomen.com, or you can find us on the socials and tag at I Love Funny Women and at Artemis Bow Network. And now, back to the show. Oh my God, I'm having so much fun, Lalita.
This is the best birthday I've ever had.
Yay!
From now on, we're going to have to record I Love Funny Women every birthday. That's what I want for my birthday.
Okay, accomplished. We'll do that every year. So this week, I got to talk to somebody who I've known for a very long time. Her name is Chef Blythe Beck. If you guys don't know her, she used to have a show on Oxygen called The Naughty Kitchen. She is all about the butter and the bacon, and I can get on board with the butter. Lalita, I kid you not, I saw a recipe she did. She posted online a video, and it was a fried avocado, and I was like, I bet I can make that vegan. And I made that vegan. And it was so incredible. And so I texted her a picture. I was like, look what I did. It's all vegan. And she was like, what? So I think I've interviewed her more than anyone throughout my career. And she, besides Ann Walker, who we'll have on the show soon. And she is just a phenomenal human being. So welcome to the show. Not only my friend, but an incredible chef, an incredibly funny lady. You get to hear an anecdote that I just love so much. So here is the amazing Chef Blythe Beck. Woo! All right, you guys. So I am so excited. This next guest I've known her since 2009, and she has become part of my family, and I adore her. She is a celebrity chef. You may know her from The Naughty Kitchen, from Oxygen, and a host of other things. Please welcome Chef Blythe Beck.
Hi! I'm so excited to see you. I missed you, sister.
I know, I missed you too. I was thinking today, you are probably the person I've interviewed the most besides Ann Walker.
Well, lucky you, or
lucky me,
or oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know which. Like either way, I love you and I'm sorry.
I keep choosing to, so apparently there's something good about it.
For punishment.
So the thing that I've really, one of my we'll talk about this in a little bit, but every time I'm in a space with you physically, your energy is so beautiful and it's so wonderful, and I just love hanging out with you, and we're always just laughing so hard together.
Well, I think what you're really like feeling and that you're connecting with is that I always smell like bacon, butter, and bourbon.
That's true.
So I feel like that's more. I appreciate that we are so close and that I do love seeing you, but I think that's more you're reacting to the bacon, butter,
as now a vegetarian.
Well,
I'm like,
or you did you, and what you do in your home is your business, but let's keep it out of my house, okay? Just saying, your life, your choice, but I am not approving that. No, ma'am.
I've been told so many similar thing to so many things in my life throughout my decades of living.
I think you were born a vegetarian.
I was born in Texas. So you used to have a restaurant called Pink Magnolia.
I did for about 5.5 years in the historic area of Dallas called Oak Cliff. And it was funny, like sort of, I haven't really talked about this, but we were in the process of moving. We were going to move the business because we had been broken into 19 times. And I got to tell you, like, as much as you love your job and everything, that coming into that is just ridiculous. So we were in the process of moving. We'd found a new location. And then COVID hit. And so it was just, I don't know if it was the restaurant gods telling me to take a break. I don't know if it's the universe, but we closed it down and then I never reopened it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure everybody misses your food. I know that.
I get a lot of messages that kind of make me cry, and I always appreciate the support, but someone's like, oh, are you open for this? Or I'm coming to town. And, you feel like you're sort of breaking everybody's heart, but then are people like, oh my God, I miss it so much. I'm like, oh, do you, do you miss it? But I will love, like, that was such a special place. I mean, you were in the space, like it was such a special place and such a special time, but you gotta evolve. Like you always have to be on the thing. And I gotta be real honest with you. I think I have a little bit of PTSD from owning a restaurant. So
I was a general manager for a restaurant until like a week ago. And I was this was the first weekend not being a GM, and I was like, nobody called me to tell me that we ran out of anything. Nobody called me to tell me that the restaurant's falling apart.
No, I have nope, can't do it. I mean, I try to tell people like owning a restaurant is like, and I'm very blessed, right? Like I had my husband there who was our executive sous, like Chef de Cuisine, and we did it together. But I mean, it's always everything. At least when you're just a chef, it's like, okay, I'll deal with my staff, the food, this. But then it's like owning it is just one thing after another. And then it was like, the complaints are getting higher, not just about, just anything. Like this lady tried to take me out because we had paper straws. And I'm like, really? Or like people threatening you to do bad reviews. And it's like, that was before COVID. Like I feel every chef and restaurateur I see out there, I'm like, I love you. Keep it up. Get out.
Right.
Can I buy your drink? Get out. I know where to go. Come on.
Yeah,
It's tough. And I didn't
Yeah.
realize that you were still GM. I didn't know you were doing that. So God bless you.
Yeah, it was so nice to be out of the restaurant industry. As much as I love food and as much as I love serving people. And then I went back in and I was like, it's a whole new world.
Do you love serving people? Do you?
I do.
Do I?
It's not the serving people, it's the being it's being in that space with people. Like the thing I loved about every time I visited you at the restaurant is you came out, you talked to everybody, you were cutting jokes, you were having a good time. And that was part of the culture around your business. And it was so beautiful.
Well, that is a very kind thing for you to say. And I appreciate you observing that. I always feel like that if you're coming to see me, you are in my house and I'm grateful and I want to meet you and I want to hug you and I want to shake your hand and I want to know your story, because cooking for someone is the most like humbling but honor experience you can have, right? Like people, there's a gazillion restaurants in the world and you chose for your graduation or promotion or engagement or first date or funeral or whatever it is, you chose me, and that's a huge honor, and I take it very, very seriously. So I don't know that I'll never own another restaurant, but
it's a lot.
Well, I've sort of moved on to the entertainment side of the chef world right now, and that is equally hard work, but it's different hard work, and it's more about your performance every day than it is like other people. The television world and the restaurant world are the very same thing. It's like, it's all about a team. We all have to show up. If we don't do our job, you either screw over the diner or the viewer. And so it's very not so physical, not so like, this is hour 18 and I'll be back in the morning,
Right. So you had a show called Naughty Kitchen on Oxygen. I watched every episode multiple times.
Okay. Sorry about the language.
No, I mean, hello,
I know.
I'm a comedian.
My mom was like, oh, this is my daughter. She gets her filthy mouth from her dad. I'm like, oh, that was aggressive. Okay.
And my mom's like, can you just not say the F word so much?
No, I can't. No. Like, it comes out. Like, I try, but I feel like after what everyone's been through, like it's in everyone's vernacular. Or no, is it just I don't know.
So what was that experience like, being on Oxygen, being like, I felt like I saw you everywhere. And of course that's how I met you. So I'm grateful for it.
Well, I'm grateful for Oxygen too. Their checks cleared and it was amazing. And I'm grateful for that. I love working in television. I love it. I love it. I love it. It is, I am sure, as an entertainer, like it is the most humbling experience. I'm very popular in prisons. I used to get a lot of prison mail. But I would get these letters from these women and men and everybody. I mean, just like a slew of people. And it was like, oh my God, finally someone that looks like me on TV or talks like me or, sounds like me or whatever. And I got so many people that were like, I'm so inspired to do blank because of you. And that was a byproduct that I never saw coming. That was amazing. And that is humbling. And that's why I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I mean, the show that we made was not the show we sold. So lesson learned, right?
Is it ever?
That's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every experience I've ever had, and I'm sure you are too, because it gets you to the next thing of where you are. And it gave me that bug that's like, I love entertaining people through food and television. And I love it. And I love it. I love it. And so I'm grateful. Like, it was amazing. And I got to meet you and I got to meet so many people. And like I said, lots of letters from prison, lots of, I'm like, oh, this might be evidence one day. I'm just going to get that back. But, I'm always grateful. And like I said, I love entertaining with food, and I'm working on several projects right now we're headed back to the TV world. But I mean, that experience opened me up. I did Chris Lee Knows Best. I did Little Women Dallas. I did Beat Bobby Flay twice. I mean, I did so many shows on so many different networks. Paula Deen, I was with her at her house several times. So, I mean, it hasn't led me to cook for Donnie Wahlberg and New Kids on the Block yet. But I feel like when I have my talk show, which is like I'm laser focusing, that I will get to cook with him and just smell him, just love him.
So we have, you currently have 2 projects that I know about right now. Am I right? So Let's Cook About It and Family Feast.
Well, so Family Feast is a show that we're working on. We were very close, ready, and then COVID sort of hit, and it's a travel show. So that sort of put things into, we sort of had a pivot, I guess is the best. But Family Feast is a show that I've wanted to make since I was about 10 years old. Like I've always wanted to do this show. And it's truly a show about coming into your home and cooking with you, your family story. Like I know how to cook my food, but I wanted to cook your food and your story and, you know, and your home. And I think that's so important, especially now where we all seem so like scattered and not like scattered away from people that we love, or, you know, feeling like a lot of people I think feel very isolated and feel very alone. And it's like, hey, we're all in it with you. Hello, we come, let's hug it out. Let's cook about it. And so Family Feast is a show very much centered on people's family, their traditions, their stories. And family is not always my mom, my dad, you know, it's not the 50s family. Family is where you feel safe and loved and welcome. So a lot of the families look very unique. Some are fabulous. Some are, you know, I mean, family is not, you know, mom, dad necessarily anymore. And so that was part of the challenge too, was like, what does family look like to you or to you or to you? And as you know, family is where you're safe and secure and loved. And so that project. And then actually my husband and I did you meet Nathan? I'm sure I
haven't met him in person.
Very cute and very furry. Nathan and I are actually today starting a new show, it's just like Facebook Live, but we're doing it 3 times a week, and it's called Cooking with the Blacks because that's my married last name. But we are cooking together, and it's just like a way for people to cook with us, see our family recipes, because like he grew up very differently than I did. We grew up in very different parts of the country, and so we start tonight at 6:30. So this was kind of like amazing that you called, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. So we're doing that, and then I have a huge cooking class. I've teamed up with a company here, a husband and wife couple, and they have 2 children, and one of their children has she has Down syndrome. So we're working with them. We're doing a huge dinner with them where I think some of her classmates are going to be working with us. So it's like, you know, where the restaurant left off, sort of the entertainment part of my career has picked up. And I'm so grateful for that. It's what I love. It's like it's my happy place.
I love it. I actually watched Let's Cook About It, the Ode to Avocado.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, she has her own built-in sous chef. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, you know, people think we're nuts. I mean, I will tell you this because we work together. We obviously live together. We're married. I mean, people think we are crazy. Like everyone's like, you are not right. Like people that love us are like, y'all should not spend this much time together. But I got so lucky. I mean, he is the most patient. I never thought I was going to get married. I never thought, no. And by the grace of God in Arkansas, which, you know, where we met, got to tell the truth. You know, he is just, he's amazing. And he's so patient and he's so smart and he's so kind. And that he could be walking through here at any point with a cat. Like he's all about animals and he takes care of them. And I got so grateful. And he's an amazing chef on his own. I mean, and he doesn't ever have to struggle because I've always been the executive, like the celebrity chef, the one that, then he's like, you do you, and I'll be back here to support. And it's a gift.
That's amazing. I'm going to bring this up again because the last time we were actually in the same space together, you told me the most amazing story. And we talked about it on D&G Live like last 2 years ago or whenever we did it last.
Cocktail. Oh God, what did I tell you?
It was the story about the cheerleader. Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
You are a terrible person. You are a terrible person. You're a terrible person.
I'm
Just
terrible.
yeah. What about that story?
j- the whole story was so amazing.
Mm.
And I sit here and just like listening to you, I think about like growing up, and my mom and my aunt and my grandmother would always just laugh and tell the stories and just laugh so hard that they
Right.
peed their pants. And when I'm around you, I feel like that.
Wait, so I cause incontinence? That is sexy. Can we get that hashtag incontinence? Hashtag Chef Blythe Beck. I think
At my age, incontinence is like a constant struggle.
well,
So
depends. Will give me a sponsorship. I mean, hey, Lisa Renna did it, right? So I mean,
yes.
yeah. That story, I don't know what did I really tell that story on your other
Oh,
show?
do I have to cut this off?
No, I don't care. I mean, it's not like, do you want me to kind of retell that story or?
I would love to hear it again because I'm dead.
Okay, well, may no cheerleaders get harmed in this story, but there was a cheerleader, and she like her family used to come see me a lot at the restaurant. Like that was a thing, and she was beautiful and stunning. And remember, like to even get on the cheerleaders, you have to look like a Q-tip. I mean, come on. And they had come to this is nice, and she was coming in for dinner, I think, or they had come in before, but she had come in for dinner, and they wanted to sit in the back room, like the private room, because they weren't allowed to be seen eating in public. And she was there she was there, I think it was I can't remember why they were there. And they were like, we put her in the back room, and they're like, oh, she wanted to come see you. Because she had the worst day ever. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? And she was like, she had gotten cut from the Cowboys for being too big, like for being like overweight, which was insane. Insane. She was a gorgeous same woman. And we fed her, and she got drunk, and she had like the best time ever. And then outside of Pink Magnolia, which was good because she had come to me for comfort, love, and I was like, like we're happy to have you, welcome home. And I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. I mean, no wonder people have such crazy images. Like, can you imagine? And she went outside, she was waiting for her ride, and she went outside, and we had two like swings, like porch swings, and they were wood, and they were out in the elements all the time, must tell you. And she went to sit down. I was like, I can't believe I just got fired for being too fat. And she sat on the bench, and it just collapsed to the ground. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I tried, oh, this isn't your fault. Of the worst time ever. This poor girl, I mean, can you imagine? Like, she's stunningly gorgeous. She works hard. I mean, those girls work hard. And she finally like got some peace of mind. And then she sits down. I was like, oh God, boom. And it just like 1,000 pieces. And I felt so bad because first of all, like that's one of those moments that probably sent her right just to, I mean, can you imagine? But the fact that it was like just the iron, like the timing, and I tried to explain. I was like, no, this thing, it's been here 3 years. Like it's out in the element. Like it was a tough day for the DCC. And she's a lovely girl, and she's stunning. So
bless her heart.
And she was never the same though.
I mean, it sucks.
It does. But that was one of those times where you just felt so bad, and the timing. Now I hope now she looks back and is like, wow, the timing of that. But it was a tough day for her. And she's very kind, and like I said, beautiful. I mean, beautifully stunning. And you see, I mean, those girls work hard. It's
They
crazy.
do. I mean,
they're not even allowed to like eat in public. They're not allowed to. I mean, they have I work with they have like some crazy rule. And they do it for like nothing. I think they get paid like $50 a game. And I mean, imagine if you could put your leg up like that. I mean, I'm very impressed with them. I think they're awesome.
If I could put my leg up like that, I would be making a hell of a lot more money.
Have to work again, would you?
Now I would break a hip.
that incontinence thing again. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about your family real quickly. Where do you?
Lordy, bring it in. What's
I
up?
need to know where you get your humor. You're just so funny and so entertaining. Alcohol.
I like my parents. So my dad's gone. He's been gone since 2005, which was tough because I was so close to him. I mean, very close. Which even though it's been 17 years, it feels like yesterday. And anyone that's ever lost someone knows it feels like yesterday. But the coolest thing about my family is we all are very funny in our own right. My sister's like this crazy talented, like she works for an oil and gas company. I mean, she's crazy talented and successful. And my brother also works in corporate America, and he's funny in his way, very dry sense of humor. But we all sort of were a family that you could talk about anything, literally. And I've had friends who are like, y'all really do talk about everything. But we talk about everything, and I think everyone has their own humor, and then everyone married funny people, which is cool too. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I drink a lot, and things are funny. I don't know, but I feel grateful for you saying that. But my family is awesome and very supportive, and they get the dream that I'm working on, and so I appreciate that. But everyone's funny, and everyone kind of married funny people, but all very different humor. I'm the most graphic in the humor, most graphic.
I'm the most graphic and
of course
humor too.
That's why we're friends.
My mom's like telling all the clean church jokes, and I'm like,
My mom, Jer Bear, she's not a church person, but she does not like dirty. She does not like the swear words. Jer Bear. No, and she worked in the music business forever, and she still doesn't love the swear words. She's like, maybe we don't use the F word. It's not a good look. And I'm like, but Mom.
You're like, Mom, it's the best look. I'm so sorry, but
look when you're a chef and working in entertainment. That right. is the.
Well, Chef, it's been so amazing talking to you, catching up with you.
I am so excited. I was so excited when I saw your number pop up, and I appreciate you so much. I love you. I think you're incredible. You're in Wisconsin, right?
Yes, come have cheese.
Well, first of all, I was on the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board for several years. I think Wisconsin's one of the greatest states because it's full of beer, cheese, brats, and football.
And hot boys.
Well, one of my besties lives in Whitefish Bay. Do you know where that
shut
is?
up. Yeah.
Okay, so I tell her all the time that I'm gonna produce a show called The Real Housewives of Whitefish Bay, because they've got the drama. They got a lot of drama up there. No, like all these stories I hear, and I'm like, and I don't live in that world of like children and and so I'm like, wait, what? And so I tell her, I'm like, I am doing The Real Housewives of Whitefish Bay because
it's the bougie part of Milwaukee.
Well, and she, I'm sure yes, I know, but I love her so much, and I love her stories, and I'm just like, okay, I could do a show arc here, and I could do and it writes itself. So I feel like that's happening. So
I want to be on the team.
Oh, hundy. So I love Wisconsin. Mars Cheese Castle follows me on Instagram, and Newskies is all I use for like when I have to do like. Yeah, I'm a Wisconsinite at heart. What are y'all? Wisconsin?
I'm like, how do you not live here?
Well, it's very cold.
Which I'm fine with because like it's too hot in Texas.
Oh, this summer I was like, this is it. Like I have to move. Like I love Chicago, which is very close.
Yes.
So for a while this summer. So you never know where I'll pop up. That's the good thing about TV and food. You can do it anywhere. So
totally. Awesome.
Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for reaching out.
Always.
The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are coming after you, though.
I'm fine. Come after me, boo.
Yeah, they're coming.
I'm so excited. So we can find you on all the socials.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Is that all? I don't do TikTok. Everyone's like, you got to do TikTok. I know. But we hope that everyone tunes in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 on Facebook Live. 6:30 our time.
Love it. Our time.
That's our time.
It is our time.
Yes, Cooking with the Blacks, and that also has all its own social media stuff. So we are we get the messages, we see them, we respond, and we want people to be a part of this. So we're growing the family.
Well, thanks for being on I Love Funny Women. And
Thank you for having me. I love you.
love you.
Bye.
That's all the time we have. I've been Dina Nina.
I'm Lalita D. Find me on Instagram at Lalita D Comedy.
Find me on Instagram at DinaNinaXO. And of course, follow us at I Love Funny Women and at Artemis Bow Network. This has been an Artemis Bow Network production.